Yama, welcome back for today's session, GCCA session. So in the last class, we learned about the GSA architecture, grid security infrastructure. So as a lot of people are using or deploying their applications to the grid or cloud, okay, that should be more secure in order to make their data secure. Okay, further, what are the mechanisms or the policies the introduced in terms of GSA has been explained in the last class. Okay, so today we are going to learn a small topics I can say. So I want to convey two topics today. These are all small topics. Okay, those are cloud infrastructure security. For example, if you want to take cloud after developing the grid, first we have to take care of the grid, which we gone through in the last two classes. Okay, so after connectivity with the help of a grid concept, we have to make a move to the cloud, where data is going to be storing is going to start. Okay, so in that we have to verify three levels of security. Not only single level, not only we have to concern the data, but also we have to take care of about three levels of security. One is the network level, host level and application level. Network level means the entering or connectivity of all the computers. So whenever one computer is going to be connecting as a part of a grid or cloud, we have to be verify whether that whether that computer is good or bad. Not in terms of functionality but in terms of security. Later, after connectivity, we have to make a move to the host. Okay, host, where the applications are going to be installed to serve for the purpose of cloud services, right? So later we have to make a move to the application level, where different type of apps are going to use to secure your data. So these are the things happening. So as a beginning, we will learn about the network level. Network level. See, in the network level, if you want to give you security, we can give in terms of two methodologies. One is a private cloud, one is a public cloud. So private is the one which is going to own by a single organization. So in this, the security is very easy, because no one is going to be allowed beyond the premises. They have some own restrictions. But coming to the public, anyone can join, anyone can leave, anyone can do anything. See, based upon the access control list you have been given, that may be applicable to the public level. Okay, but based upon the network level you are going to use, security have to be improved. Yes. So when looking at the network level of infrastructure security, it is important to distinguish between public clouds and private clouds. I repeat, private cloud is a single organization cloud. Public cloud is multiple companies combination cloud. Okay, so in the public cloud, lot of services are offering, lot of people are engaging, and lot of data is going to be saved, which is totally contrast to the private data. Few people, few applications, few data, single organization. Okay, ma'am? With private cloud, there are no new attacks, because they are secure. No one is going to be allowed. Okay, no new attacks, vulnerabilities or changes in the risk specific to topologies. So no topology have to change because it's fixed. It is owned by single organization. But coming to public cloud, when more than one company is there, one company want to leave, automatically we have to change the topology, right? It's very tough to change. Private cloud, extranet or private cloud. So we have some architecture by which we can conclude that the private cloud is safe than public cloud. How? We will see. See this. So this is called as a private extranet or private cloud. In this we have an intranet, the security management system for specifically for this. Okay, the extranet will be there, but for every extranet there is a intrusion detection systems. Okay, based upon the business partners, they are going to be contributing for this private cloud. And virtual private networks, virtuality will be there, original network is not going to be you. So whatever the corporate, the company portal will be there, it is also secured, and whatever the data management capability will be there, it is also secured, right? So everywhere we can secure, and what security is implemented we know each other, because it is a small thing, right? So whenever a person want to enter or leave, there will be firewalls between this. The firewall is the one which restricts entering and which restricts leaving. If you want to leave, you have to give your reason why you are leaving. If you want to enter, you have to give reason why you are entering and who are you. First of all, you have to prove yourself. Okay, so of course these private networks also can able to communicate with the internet capability using the WANs. Okay, wide area networks also we can do. Okay, so that is about the private clouds. Coming to the public clouds, are there. So we have to be change the topology, as I said previously. When company is leaving from one company, automatically we have to verify whether why they are leaving, and if leaving, what is their contribution in the company. Okay, means in terms of what topology they have given, how many computers they have given, like that we have to check. There are 4 significant risk factors in this use case. So by using public cloud, what are the risk we have to be faced? First one, ensuring the confidentiality and integrity. So every person data have to be secure along with their identification. Okay, because they have to moving from one place to another. Data in transit to and from a public cloud provider. Next one, ensuring proper access control. Ensuring proper access control. We have to be give proper access to. As we have own company, we know our restrictions, but as it's a combination of different companies, everyone have to check the restrictions. Okay. Ensuring the availability of the internet facing resources. Ensuring the availability of the internet facing resources. Yes, as a public cloud have to use the internet mandatorily. We have to address the problems coming by usage of internet. Last one, replacing the established model of network zones and types with domains. Yes, because internet is nothing but the collection of domains. Different domains, generic domains and private domains will be there. Generic domain is .com, commercial purpose. Private domain is edu, in, like that. Okay. Host level. So that is a thing we have to be take care at the time of network level security, which is divided in terms of 2 parts. One is the public cloud and the private cloud. And coming to the host level. In the host level, whenever computers is going to be connected as a part of a network to give some service to the customer, at this level we have to be very conscious, because this computer is going to different applications along with the network connectivity. It is a middle one between the network and the low level. Host and what is it? Yeah, it is a main application level. Yes, network level and the application level mediator one is the host level. Okay. So while reviewing host security and accessing risk, we have to check, because the host level will give services to the customer. What type of services they will give? SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. In what type of clouds? Public, private and hybrid clouds. Hope you remember this terminology. SaaS, software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Right now, so all things we have to be considered. The host security responsibility in SaaS and PaaS services are transferred to the provider of cloud services. Okay. Right. So the SaaS and PaaS, the means software as a service and platform as a service is going to be taken care of by cloud services. Right. So and coming to the infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service have to give more security, because they have to secure their infrastructure in terms of virtualization, in terms of customer and virtual server. Okay, so everywhere we have to use a virtual one, because more number of people are using the internet and cloud services. So for that we have to use virtualization. So if you want to provide security in the infrastructure, where we can provide a virtualization layer itself. So any new person want to enter to our computer, or any new person want to access our resources, they have to do in terms of the virtualization only, right? So SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, host security. So here the SaaS means cloud service provider do not share information related to their host platform and host OS. They won't share any data, that will be very secure. Okay. Yeah. So virtualization, as I said previously, we have to use the virtualization is a key enabling technology that improves host hardware utilization among other benefits. Okay, so it is common for cloud service provider. It is common for cloud service provider to provide security in terms of virtualization using Zen and VMware. Hope you remember these Zen, VMware, hypervisor terms. At place they are going to provide the security. Okay, so both the PaaS and SaaS platforms abstract and hide the host OS. Yes, no need to consider host OS, right? They have to consider about the guest OS only. So every operation is going to be do at the guest OS, so the original data will not be corrupted or changed. Okay. So one key difference between the PaaS and SaaS is accessibility of the abstraction layer. No need more. As host security, as the infrastructure is not going to verified by the customer. Okay, no need to give brief details about the security to the customer at this level. The company have to own itself. Okay, but where we have to stress this security? In infrastructure as security means this sir. Virtualization software security, we have to provide the software security concept in terms of virtualization. Next, yes, virtualization enables sharing of hardwares. Customer guest OS or virtual server security. Yes, customer guest OS, we can provide the security here instead of host OS. Next, customers are responsible for security and ongoing security management of the guest VM. Yes, some of the new host security threats in the public as a public as infrastructure is going to use, every time the threats will be occurred. So what can be there? Stealing keys. The keys is going to be stolen. Attacking unpatched or vulnerable services. Next one, hijacking accounts, attacking systems that are not properly secured, deploying trojans. So these are all some of the security issues we have to be take care at the time of host security. Okay, how to secure your virtual service? Because as we are going to use a virtualization concept to not to allow all applications to the host OS. The guest OS will take care of, even the guest OS is going to be using, the guest OS also in your computer, right? So if that is the case, what are the things we have to be take care? Use secure by default configuration. Integrity. What is integrity, ma? Changing of your data have to be notified to the sender or the receiver. How? By using a hash functions, we will see. Safeguard the private key. Do not allow password based authentication for shell access. Enable system auditing and event logging. So what is happening, what is happened, we have to check in detail at every time interval. Okay, so if that is the case, it is called as auditing and event logging. And coming to the application level, so till now we gone through network level, host level and application level. Application level is a lot of applications we are going to use. We can use a lot of antivirus softwares or any unthreatened application to secure your data. So application and software security should be critical element of a security program, because once it is entered into the computer, so till now we can make a security at the application at the network level and the host level. But coming to the application level, where user or customer directly using this application, there we have to secure your data. So designing and implementing applications aims at development on a cloud platform will require existing application security program to re-evaluate current practices and standards. Yes. So we have to recheck your standards of security. If not good, we have to be modified. So this level is responsible for managing application level security threats, end user security, SaaS application, PaaS application, customer deploying application security, IaaS application, oh my god, public cloud security. So every aspect we have to check here. After checking that only, we can make a move to the this customer or your application level. So after verifying from IaaS, PaaS, SaaS application level security, then only we can give data to the customer and allow them to modify the data. Okay, right now. So that is about 5.4, that is in terms of network level, host level, application level security. Coming to the data security, aspects of data security, providers data and its security. See, if you want to store your data securely, automatically we have to do some encryptions in the transmission, right? Right. So what are those? So we have to check, the customer should also be concerned about what data the provider collects and how the content security policy protects that data. We have to check, okay. Additionally, what provider collects and must protect a huge amount of security data. In this main concepts are how to store your data, how to maintain your confidentiality, how to verify your data is secure in terms of integrity, how your data is going to be available round the clock to not to interfere not to interfere the services to the customer. So these 4 things we have to check. Storage. So for data storage in the cloud, storage as a service is going to use, where this application will take care of all the storage aspects along with the security also. Okay, the same three information security concerns with this data stored in the cloud, that is confidentiality, integrity and availability. Okay, so all things are going to be verified at the time of storage. Before storing your data into the cloud, they are going to be securing confidentiality, integrity and availability concept. Confidentiality, how to provide confidence or how to maintain confidentiality to our data is by using encryption decryption concept. See, along with this encryption decryption concept, we also have to impose access control for authorization and authentication purpose. Okay, so content security policies generally use authentication mechanisms along with the authorization mechanisms to secure your data. Okay, often the only authorization level cloud vendors provide are. So some of people going to use only authorization levels. So where administrator authorization will be there, user authorization will be there. Yeah, these are all common. They will provide encryption standards. Yeah, I hope you remember this. So this is a symmetric encryption key. What is symmetric key? Using the same key is called as a symmetric key or the single key. Example, DES algorithm. Okay, here there is a sender. He want to send some plain text. Here encryption algorithms will be there, like DES, AES algorithms. After encryption, we will get the ciphertext. By using this key only, we are going to be encrypt and decrypt. After getting the ciphertext, which is a coded form of your original data, at the receiver side, it is going to be decrypted using the same key, which will get the same plain text which is sent by the sender, and that the same plain text is going to be received by the receiver or forward to the receiver. It is going to be happen. So symmetric encryption involves the use of a single secret key for both the encryption and decryption of data. Only symmetric encryption has the speed and computational efficiency because no need to use multiple keys. At that time, the computation time will be less, so it is going to be fast using the same key. But what is the main drawback in this? Threat will be there. If anybody stolen your key, unfortunately, and that key can be used for the decryption of your code. That is the main drawback. So it would be highly unusual to use an asymmetric key algorithm for this encryption. Yeah, so instead of using this, we can also use public private key concept also. So like this, that is asymmetric key. Asymmetric key means different keys. So we have two keys, public key and the private key. Public key is public to all people in the world. Anybody can view your public key, but private key is your own key. For example, I am A person, I want to send to B. Okay, I want to send to B. If A want to send to B, the A have to acquire the B public key. Okay, the B public key have to use to send the data. After receiving the data from A, the B will decrypt the data using his private key. Both are matching. See, it is happening. The sender, the same, take the plain text to transfer. We have to do some encryption. The encryption is the receiver, that is a B's public key. Encryption will be there. After converting to ciphertext, if you want to receive by the receiver, I have to decrypt. So by which key, whose key we have to decrypt now? We have to use the receiver's private key. Whose private key we have to use? To person which whom you want to send. So we have to get that receiver private key. The receiver itself uses his private key. No need to be shared to anybody as it is a private key. Okay. So after decrypting that data, we will get the plain text. Okay. That plain text is going to be received by the receiver. So that is happening in this concept. Right. Coming to the integrity, very important. Integrity means it is mainly used in the financial services. For example, I want to transfer a person 1 lakh rupee. Okay, so I transferred 1 lakh rupee, but unfortunately somewhere in the middle of the transmission, one person has been modified the data, okay, or tampered the data in terms of 2 lakhs. So is it good? No. So we have to recheck whether whatever you have been sent, that should be the same or not, which is received by the receiver. We have to check integrity. Okay, that is a tampering of your data. If that is the case, we have to use the hash functions or message authentication code. Actually, authentication is going to use for the human beings to authenticate, okay, to validate them. But we can use authentication for the message, also called as a MAC, message authentication code, where we can do this. After doing some message encryptions, we have to add the decrypted or ciphertext as a part of a message also. So if you want to transfer any data to the receiver, we have to send the plain text, your normal data, along with the MAC also, message authentication code. That code has been taken from your text. Okay, so for confidentiality purpose. Confidentiality does not imply integrity. Data can be encrypted for confidentiality purpose, and you might not have a way to verify the integrity of the data. Right? So encryption alone is sufficient for the confidentiality, but integrity also requires the usage of message authentication codes. Right? As I said previously, using the MAC, like hash functions, MD5, SHA-1 algorithm, like that, SHA-1, SHA-128. So in this we can use this MAC in terms of block symmetric algorithm. What it is, block symmetric algorithm. So using the cipher block chaining method, you can use. We have 3 to 4 methods here. You can use anything. Hope you remember all these in your subject INS. Right? So that's about. So for this we have to use more storage. The author is conveying that we have to use more storage. Of course, as our main concern is for security, we don't bother about the high storage. It doesn't it does not have a requirement. Our requirement is on security. So even though it is taking more space, we have to ensure your data is secure or not. That's enough. Okay. Yeah. Finally, availability, very very important. See, some of the attacks like intrusion detection attacks, like DOS attack, denial of service. The denial of service attack is nothing but to not to provide your data at the time you want. The data is going to be tampered, or data is going to be deleted, or data is going to be copied somewhere else, not from your location. Okay, if that is the case, you may not get the availability of the data. There is no availability of your data. How can you do some operations? Okay, there will be interruption in your service, right? So that is also one of the security threat. So availability, how we have to do? So assuming that a customer data has maintained its confidentiality and integrated, you must also be concerned about the availability of your data. Okay, so the 3 major threats here are, the first threat is availability, network based attacks. Whenever you want to be transferring your data from network, from your system to another system, that may at that place you can be attacked. Second threat is availability in the CSP, because cloud service provider's own availability. The cloud service provider is not going to give better availability service. Problem is there. Third one, okay, cloud storage does not mean the stored data is actually backup. So some need of backup will be there. And the 3 of these considerations, confidentiality, integrity, availability, should be encapsulated in a CSP service level agreement to the customer. Means he have to be ensured, the cloud service provider have to ensure I am going to give the better security for you by providing some of the algorithms or mechanisms or policies or standards. Whatever it is convenient to them, they have to give the security. Okay, that's enough. So that is about the different type of data management securities. In the next class, we will learn about 5.6, that is IAM, in Identity and Access Management. Okay, that is in terms of authorization, authentication in detail architecture. So till then, have a nice day. Bye bye.